Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my best in beauty for 2018. These products aren't necessarily only products that came out this year. It's all of the products that I used the most and loved the most for the year. So some categories I only have one item, but there's other categories where I will have multiple items, and I will try my best to swatch everything and do up close shots for you. I'm also gonna have everything listed and linked down below in the description box. So let's go ahead and get started. Be sure to grab a coffee or a glass of wine or a soda or whatever, because I feel like this video is gonna be a long one. I'm gonna start with the products based on how I apply them to my face. So first up is primer. I have two primers that I wanna talk about. The first, and the one that I used the most, is the Too Faced Hangover RX. This has been one of my favorite products for years. I absolutely love it. I have normal to dry skin, should probably give that as a disclaimer. And this does a great job of hydrating my skin and leaving a nice and hydrated, moisturized base for foundation. Another foundation that I love and have loved for forever is another one by Too Faced, and it's the Primed and Poreless. One of my biggest skincare concerns is large pores, so if I need a bit more smoothing action, I go in with the Primed and Poreless, and I love it. This is very similar to the Benefit Professional, but I prefer this one because it's not as drying and mattifying, but these two are my favorite primers. Next up are foundations, and I like to rotate my foundations based on the finish that I'm going for, what time of year it is. So I'm gonna go over my top 3 most used foundations. The first one is the Dior Forever Skin Foundation. This shade is actually for when I'm self-tanned, but I do have my normal shade in the mail, and I think it's gonna be delivered today. But I love this foundation. This is probably my absolute favorite foundation ever. I love the finish. I love the coverage. It is a full coverage foundation. It's more of a matte finish, but it's a little more on the satin and natural side. The coverage is great. The color match is just so good. My normal color is the shade number 20. I think it's like ivory beige or beige ivory, but I love the Dior Forever Skin Foundation. I also love the Makeup Forever Ultra HD. This is more of a medium coverage and a more glowy finish. I really like this too. It makes my skin look really youthful and healthy. And then a like everyday running errands foundation if I want my skin to look nice and even and have a nice coverage, but I don't want to take a lot of time. I'll go in with the IT Cosmetics CC cream. I get mine in the shade light. This is a great product. It has really nice coverage. It's nice and hydrating and moisturizing on the skin. They did come out with a mattifying version, which I hear great things about, so I might try that one because I am almost out of this, but I have gone through many bottles of all 3, and these are just my most used and most loved. I have 2 concealers that I want to mention, and the first one is the MAC Studio Fix 24 Hour Smooth Wear Concealer. Mine is in the shade NW15, and this is a really good concealer. Back in the day, I really liked their Pro Longwear Concealer, and this reminds me of it a little bit. It's just a bit of a thinner formula, and it's not as heavy and full coverage, but it is a great concealer. It wears really nicely on the skin. And then for a full coverage concealer, the Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. Mine is in the shade Nude, and I typically like a concealer that is a shade or 2 lighter than my skin tone. This one is a little bit lighter, so it adds more brightening for me. It's the MAC, but the Born This Way is pretty much the same color as my skin tone, so I can easily use this for spot concealing, which I typically don't do, but if I'm not going for a highlighted effect under the eyes and I just want an all over even base, I'll go in with this one. This one's more full coverage, this one's more medium, but I have loved and used both the most. Okay, let's go over some powders. I have 2 loose powders that I want to mention that I have used to set my concealer, and the first one is the Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder. I used this the majority of the year. It's a great setting powder. I don't use this for all over my face. I only use it for setting my concealer, but towards the end of the year, Hourglass came out with their Loose Mineral Veil, and I am obsessed. I love this one. The Laura Mercier is very mattifying and can be drying depending on your skin type, but the Hourglass, while it sets, it's a little bit more luminous and glowy. I really love the Hourglass. Like, it has quickly become an absolute holy grail of mine. Now, to set my face and my foundation, I have two powders that I want to mention. The first one's gonna come as no surprise if you've watched my channel for any amount of time. It's the Benefit Hello Flawless. This is in the shade Never Settle Petal, and I have hit major pan in this bad boy. But I really like this foundation powder. It is a medium coverage, but it wears beautifully over foundation, and it adds more coverage to your liquid foundation, and it really helps extend the life of my makeup. But towards the end of this year, my skin has been a little bit more dry, and I turned 30 this year. I'll be 31 in March, so I am seeing more fine lines and more signs of aging. So I got a powder that's not as heavy to set my foundation, and I am obsessed, and it's the Laura Mercier Candle Glow Sheer Perfecting Powder. I've been using this as a setting powder for all over my face, and it's amazing. I have mine in the shade number 2, and it doesn't offer any coverage, but it sets my foundation, adds a bit of life and luminosity to my skin, and keeps me from looking too dry. If my skin is looking too dry, it's going to age me. So that has done wonders for me. I really love that powder. That's the powder that I used today to set my foundation, and I used it over the Laura Mercier Flawless Filter Foundation, which I guess should be an honorable mention because I have been wearing that one for about a month and really enjoying it. This is a really big standout product for me powder wise, so I really wanted to mention that, especially if you are in your 30s like I am and you're looking for a powder to set your makeup and make you look healthy and glowy but not add to the aging and make you look too dry. That's a really good powder to try. Okay, after I do my base, I always do my brows, and I have two products to share with you. The most used product this year for me for filling in my brows has been the Anastasia Brow Duo. I get mine in the shade medium brown. I said that weird, medium brown, and I have hit major pan in this, but I just really like using a powder. I like using the lighter shade for the first part of my brow, and then the darker shade for the middle towards the end at the tail. I just really like the powder. I feel like it looks very natural. And then my most used brow gel is the Benefit Gimme Brow Brow Gel. This is in the shade number 3, yes. Number 3, those are the products that I have in my brows today, and they're just my tried and true favorites. I feel like I can get a really nice full brow, but it looks more natural. So those have been my favorites for brows. For bronzing and contouring, this also is gonna come as no surprise. It was my second one that I purchased for the year, and it's the Tarte Park Avenue Princess, and I've already hit pan in this. This is my absolute favorite bronzing and contouring palette. I honestly don't really use the lighter 2 shades here, but I use all of these, and clearly the contour shades, I get a lot of use out of because I've hit pan on both of them. But if you are my skin tone and you have like a neutral tone to your skin, maybe a little bit of an olive base, these colors are great. They just work really nicely for me, and I absolutely love them. So like I said, this is my second one. My first one I accidentally dropped and it shattered, so I had to get another one, and I've already hit pan. But those bronzing and contouring shades are gorgeous. Another bronzer that I need to mention that I've used a ton is this one from Marc Jacobs. It's the Tantastic Coconut Bronzer. This is a matte bronzer, and it is a very nice bronzer. If I'm not using my Park Ave Princess bronzer, I'm either using this or my Hourglass bronzers. I guess Hourglass bronzers should be another honorable mention for me, but I definitely used this a ton this year, and I loved it. It's a very nice powder. It's a very nice color. I remember at first I wasn't sure. I think mine was just pressed very tightly at first because I didn't get a lot of color payoff at first, but once I got over that first hard pressed layer, I got a lot more payoff, and the color is really nice. I think it looks really nice on me, and it's a very natural tan color. So this is a really good bronzer as well, and I used it a lot. Okay, let's move on to blushes, and I have 2 blushes to mention. This first one I've talked about a lot this year, and it's the Charlotte Tilbury First Love Blush. I love this blush. It literally is a tried and true and goes with everything. You can wear it with whatever kind of eye look you're going for, whatever sort of style you're going for. It's a universal blush that literally looks good no matter what you're wearing or how much makeup you have on your face. And then the next one is this one from Hourglass, and it is the Brilliant Nude, and it's gorgeous. This is the blush that I'm wearing today. I think this is one of their strobe, yes, it's one of their strobe lighting blushes, so it is a glowy blush, but I love it. The color is beautiful. It's very natural. It brings a lot of life to the face. Pretty much if you don't want to, you can get away without wearing a highlighter when you wear this blush, but I love it. It works really well for me, and it's just a really pretty pink nude shade, like the Charlotte Tilbury blush, but the Charlotte Tilbury blush is more pink and more mauve. The Brilliant Nude is definitely more of a nude. I want to mention a face palette that's got setting powders and finishing powders, bronzers, blushes, that sort of thing, and it's another Hourglass product. This one is the Ambient Unlocked palette, and they came out with 2 for holiday this year, and this is the one that I decided to go for. I love it. It is so beautiful. The blush tongue twister. The blush shades are beautiful. You can wear them on your own. I actually like to mix them together. It comes with a beautiful highlight, 2 setting or finishing powders. I just mix them together and I can set my whole face, and then it comes with a bronzer. The bronzer is not my favorite, I'm not gonna lie, but all of the shades in here are stunning. I've even been sometimes mixing the blushes and the bronzer together to have a really nice, pretty blush. So even though I don't use the bronzer for bronzer, I can easily use it as an eyeshadow. I can throw it on top with my blush. It's just a really beautiful palette. I love this. This is probably my favorite ambient lighting palette that they've come out with, and they come out with one every year. This year they came out with 2, but that one was my favorite, and I have been getting a lot of use out of it, and it was definitely a standout product for me, so I wanted to mention it. I have 2 highlighting products that I want to mention. The first is the Anastasia Amrezy. This came out, pretty sure it came out this year, and it was limited edition and it went away, and I was so upset because it's a beautiful champagne gold highlighter, but it is back in stock for holiday. I don't know if it's still limited edition or if it's gonna be a permanent product, but y'all, this highlighter is stunning. I highly recommend it. It was absolutely my most used, and I'm not joking when I say that I used it so much, and I barely have made a dent in this thing. So there's a ton of product in here, and it lasts a long time. I apply it with my Anastasia highlighting brush. It is a gorgeous highlighter. Definitely check it out while it's back in stock, because I don't know if it's gonna go away again, but it's definitely it would definitely be worth it for them to make it a permanent product because it's so good. Another highlighting product that I want to mention that I loved and used so much is the Hourglass Strobe Lighting Palette. It is really great. You get 3 different colors. Each color is gorgeous, and they are not as intense and glossy as the Amrezy highlight is, but they are beautiful. Absolutely stunning. You've got more of like a champagne tone, a gold pearly color, and then your more rose gold color. So you've got a lot of options. You can mix them together. You can wear them on your own. You got a lot of options with that. Clearly, as you can see from my favorites, I'm a big fan of Hourglass. We are now going to move on to eyeshadow, and this is my largest category besides lips, and the one that's probably gonna take the longest to get through. So I'm going to try to do this as quickly and efficiently as possible. It was very hard for me to just pick 1 or 2 palettes for eyeshadow because eyeshadow is one of my most favorite things, and there was a lot of products that I really loved this year. So let's get on to eyeshadow. The first one is Anastasia Soft Glam. I used this puppy so much. She got a lot of love from me. It's a really great palette. It's a great palette too if you're looking for something to wear every day, but you've got some fun colors to throw in for fun nights out, date nights, parties, that sort of thing. I got a lot of love and a lot of use out of my Soft Glam. Next is the Jessie palette by Jessie James Decker with Alexa Persico Cosmetics. This came back in stock quite a few times. I didn't know if I should mention it in this video because I don't know if it's available anymore, but if it is, this palette's amazing. I had never tried anything from Alexa Persico. It was my very first time and I was very impressed with her shadows. This is a great everyday palette. You've got 4 shimmers and 4 mattes and they did a wonderful job with it and the formula was great. Next up is Tarte Maneater. I used this a lot towards the beginning of the year. It is a great palette. This one has pan because Kaysen got a hold of it and dug a chunk out of that color. But this is also a really beautiful palette. When this one first came out, it was limited edition, but Tarte made it permanent and it's got really great colors, especially if you're more into mauve colored shades. This is a great one to go for. Great everyday palette. It's got a lot of variety in there and it's just perfect for everyday looks. These next 2 I've had the least amount of time, but they are 100% my favorite shadows of the entire year. The first is the Natasha Denona Camel palette. This is gorgeous. It's amazing. This was my first product I ever purchased from Natasha Denona and I'm so glad that this was my first one and I just love it. It is so beautiful and I love that she has these little 5-pan palettes because her eyeshadow palettes are expensive. So this is a great way to try her eyeshadows. Also, why her eyeshadows are so expensive, there is a lot of product in each pan, like double, sometimes triple the amount that's in a pan in a regular palette like with Anastasia or something like that. So you do get a lot of bang for your buck with these. I know they're, you know, hit or miss for some people, but this was a huge hit for me. Last but not least is another Natasha Denona palette. It's a full-sized palette and I can easily and confidently say that I would give up every single eyeshadow palette in my collection to have this one, but minus the Camel palette because I want to keep that too. But this purchase was 100% inspired by my Camel palette purchase and it's the gold palette from Natasha Denona. This is what I'm wearing on my eyes today. I would easily give up every single palette in my collection for this one. I love it so much. And some people are probably like, why? Like, it's just got a bunch of browns. These browns work the best for me. They look the best on me. The color, the formula, everything. This palette is fantastic. My favorite thing about the browns in this palette is that they have an olive base. And products that have an olive base look the best for my skin tone, at least in my opinion. Just the best. There's tons of product in here. I don't know if I would ever even hit pan on a shadow like this because there's so much product in it. But it is expensive. I did purchase it during one of the Sephora sales. I think I had like an extra 20% or something, I can't remember, but this is amazing. I purchased it, it was not in my Sephora VIB sale haul because I purchased it after I purchased the products in that haul, but easily the best palette in my collection without a doubt. Moving on to mascara. I have been obsessed with the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Primer for a long time now. And I have gone through countless tubes of it. I love it. I apply it before I apply my mascara and it just adds length and volume to my lashes and I love it. And definitely the best mascara I used this year was the Hourglass Caution Mascara. This haul, or not this haul, but this video is very Hourglass heavy, but I do just really enjoy their products. This is a great mascara. It separates, it lengthens, it adds volume. It's the mascara that I'm wearing today. I'm not a false lash girl. Unless I'm in a wedding or something, I'll wear false lashes, but I don't wear false lashes on the regular for date nights or parties or anything like that. So this with the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Primer really do my lashes well. I do not have an eyeliner to mention in this video because I really didn't wear eyeliner that much this year. If I could recommend an eyeliner to you, it would be the Maybelline gel liner from the drugstore. If I do use an eyeliner, it's typically that one, but I really steered clear from eyeliner this year. I just kind of wasn't into it and just liked not having to wear it, and I haven't been wearing it. So yeah, that is it pretty much for eyes. I think we're just gonna move on to lips, and then I have my setting sprays, and then we'll be done. Okay, lips is another very large category. So I'm going to go through these fairly quickly. I've got a lip balm, lip liners, lipstick, and liquid lipstick. I'll start with lip balm, and that's easily the Sarah Hap Lip Slip. It's amazing. I purchased mine from Nordstrom, and it is beautiful. It's a nice light pink. It's got some shimmer in it. Super glossy, stays on your lips for forever. Lip liners are my Charlotte Tilbury lip liners. I've got the shade Pillow Talk. and the shade in Iconic Nude, I believe. Yep, Iconic Nude. These are my favorites. I clearly use Pillow Talk the most. For lipsticks, I also have 2 shades from Charlotte Tilbury. I have Kim KW, which has been my most used. I actually have Pillow Talk liner and Kim KW on my lips today. And then Pillow Talk lipstick. So I like the lip liner and the lipstick. This is a beautiful color. I really like this color for nighttime, date nights. It's just really pretty and I think it looks really good with my skin tone. Moving on to liquid lips, I have the most of these. This one is a liquid lip, but it's a velvet, so it doesn't dry down matte like a lot of normal liquid lipsticks, and it's from Kylie Cosmetics, surprisingly. It's the shade Bare. This is a beautiful mauve nude shade. It is gorgeous and I love the velvet liquid lipstick formula. But what's a bummer for me is that I like the shades in her liquid lip line better than her velvet lip line. But Bare is a beautiful color and the velvet formula is awesome. It's very comfortable. Next up, I have a shade from Jouer, and this is one of their liquid lip creams in the shade Melon. It's a beautiful rose pink color and I love it, and I really like this formula. It's more of a comfortable liquid lip. I have a lot of lines on my lips, so some formulas just do not work well for me, but the Jouer is not, I mean, it dries down matte, but it's not super drying where it makes my lips look like a raisin. So I really like the Jouer liquid lip line, but Melon is a beautiful color if you're looking for more of like a rosy pink color, but it's still in the nude family. And then the last 3 liquid lipsticks are all from Kat Von D. I really like Kat Von D's liquid lipstick formula as well. They don't settle into the lines of my lips and they don't suck the life out of my lips either. So my favorite 3 colors is Muñeca, and I use this one mainly as a center color on top of these 2 other colors. This is too light for me to wear all over my lips, but it's great to do the sort of highlighting effect on your lip where I will put down a lip color and then place it in the center of my top and bottom lips and then tap it out, and it just gives a really nice kind of like 3D highlighting effect to my lips. And then the other 2 shades are Ludwig and Ophelia. Love these 2 colors. Ophelia is more of a warm nude and Ludwig is more of a cool toned nude. But I love the Kat Von D liquid lip formulas. Those are my 3 favorite colors from them, and they got the most use out of me this year for sure. And I have one gloss that I want to mention, and it's the Dior Addict Lip Gloss in the shade 257. I don't know what happened to this shade. I was looking on Sephora's website and I didn't see it on there anymore, so I hope it's not a discontinued color. It's a pretty peachy color. It's very glossy and it's got a lot of shimmer in it, so it makes my lips look big and juicy. 2 honorable mentions that I want to mention real quick for lip glosses that I have not had for very long, but I am really impressed by them and they're really shimmery like this, is the Soap and Glory Sexy Mother Pucker Lip Glosses. I have the nude and I have the Candy Queen. One is a nude and one is more of like a light pinky color, and they're really shimmery like this and they are at a much better price point. So I wanted to mention those as a little honorable mention as well. All right, we're down to the last 2 products of the year for me, and they are both setting sprays. I have the MAC Prep and Prime Fix Plus, which I absolutely love if I'm feeling a little dry and I'm looking a little powdery. This is the perfect product for me to use because it really takes away that powdery look and gives my face a really pretty, healthy glow. And then if I'm going out for the night or I'm gonna be wearing my makeup all day and I need it to stay put, I will use the tried and true cult favorite Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. So I definitely have different uses for both. This one if I'm feeling a little dry and need more life to my face, and then the All Nighter if I need my makeup to last a really long time. I saw my husband walk by, so that's why I'm looking in the corner. But yeah guys, that is all of my favorite and most used products of the year. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and enjoyed all the swatches and up close shots. I haven't done that in a while, so that was a pretty big ride for me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!